Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. We are back. We wasn't here yesterday, of course, because it was the transfer window. But we are back here today to talk about that transfer window. And joining me, we got the legend himself, Chris Hudson, is in the building. Chris, first of all, nice to see you again.
And you, Rob.
Elbows, fists, whatever. Great to see you. And of course, yesterday, another signing. Takehiro Tomiyasu, who's going to be signed from Bologna for around, well, they reckon with add-ons it's probably going to be about £90 million. That's just under £150 million spent in this transfer window. I was doing an interview earlier, you would have seen with those people in South Africa. They reminded me that that's the most spent of any club in the world in this transfer window. So I've got one question for you, Chris.
Go on then.
Are you excited?
No. But, as I said to you before, I may not be excited, but I'm intrigued. And these players, every once in a while, Arsenal's windows a bit scattergun approach. They've not strengthened the team. They've spent £150 million and no better. But you can't answer those questions to the end of the season. You don't know. For all you know, you may not be excited about Ben White today, but come May, you hopefully will be. And then same with the young, the Belgian boy. You just don't know, Rob. So We've had plenty of excitement in the past, which has turned to be an absolute nightmare. So I'm not having a go at their window. We just got to wait and see, basically.
Let me just remind you of, and remind everybody of who we signed, just in case you've forgotten. As I said, Takehiro Tomiyasu yesterday signed 70 million plus add-ons. Ben White, Tomiyasu signed from Bologna over there in Italy. Ben White signed from Brighton for £50 million. Albert Sambi Lokonga signed from Anderlecht, around about £70 million. Nuno Tavares for £8.5 million from Benfica. Martin Odegaard, £30 million signing from Real Madrid. And Aaron Ramsdale signed for £24 million from Sheffield United. Of course, there were outgoings as well. The big one yesterday, of course, was Hector Bellerin going out on loan to Real Betis. So there's been quite a few players out as well.
But we've only sold one player for a fee.
Yeah.
Which is poor.
Which of course was Joe Willock.
Yeah, and on Hector, I hope he does well there. I'm not seeing his career back because he's never, to be blunt, he's never got over that injury.
Do you think they've sent him out because there's no option to buy him this? It's just a move to Betis for one season, and then he's gonna, probably come back.
No.
Do you see him coming back, or do you think that's the end of it for Hector Bellerin?
I can see him hopefully doing well at Betis, so then next summer we'll sell him.
So you don't think he'll come back?
No, I don't think he will. Also, he's one of these players lately who's been getting a lot of stick off the supporters, which I found a little bit uncomfortable. Because he's come through the ranks, Rob, and he's a bit of an Arsenal man. He's always been a credit to the club. We all know about the planting of the trees and that, but he's the player's rep as well. He's the one who, when they had to give up wages during the COVID, he's the one who organised all that. So, just forget about this. I want him to do well in Spain. And I'd like to see him get a permanent transfer there.
What went wrong for him?
His injury, Rob. He was never the same, mate. He lost his speed. And then with the Arsenal doing badly, I think a lot of people earmarked him and he started getting a lot of stick off the crowd as well. I think it affected his confidence.
Do you reckon with Hector that sometimes it was some of the off-field stuff? Because, listen, he's a guy that is really into his fashion. He's really into. He's quite an outspoken guy, like you said. On the environment and things like that. But do you reckon it was a thing like you had some fans saying, "Well, you know what, mate? That's great. The trees is great. The fashion's great. But what about on the pitch? What are you doing on the pitch? That's what we." Do you think that's where he kind of went wrong?
I don't think you got to understand these days. People don't like anyone who's a little bit out of the ordinary. So I think I'll forget about that. I just think he never got over that injury.
Yeah.
It was not the same player.
And he was doing well before that injury, wasn't he?
So people latch on, he's walking, he's doing more fashion. He's getting involved with this. He's getting involved with that. He's taking his eye off the ball when it comes to football. Well, you don't know that. He's a professional footballer, so why would he take his eye off the ball? Just because he's different, you know. In life, if you're different, people don't like you. And I think that's what happens. So, P personally, let's hope he does
surprising at Real Betis.
I think he's.
I thought he might have gone to a kind of no disrespect to them, but more high profile club. But
I think he had family connections.
His dad apparently is like a fan of Betis.
Yeah, perhaps he's gone there. Good luck to him playing for his dad's favourite team. He'll be relaxed. He'll be able to get on with his life. I just think his life in this country has come to an end. I don't know if you saw that. He did that documentary. I don't know if you saw that when he had his injury and how he fought back. But he always got the impression with him. He always wanted to go back to Spain.
Yeah.
So good luck to him.
What do you know then about Takehiro Tomiyasu?
Absolutely nothing. But there is a person I know on social media called James Rowe. He lives
James
excellent.
Rowe.
And if I ever want to know a player, I just DM him. And he comes back and he's glowing.
All right, what's he come back with? What's James Rowe come back with? I know James. Good lad he is as well.
He says he's an excellent defender, very fast. He's good in the floor, good in the air, and he's a really good defender. And Inter Milan and Atalanta wanted him, and Spurs, but we'll forget that. But if Inter Milan and Atalanta want you, that tells me something. And he started off in the Belgium league, and he showed a lot of determination to get where he is. He's improved himself, so that tells you. And as soon as he heard the Arsenal wanted him, that was it. So that's another player who wants to play for us, which can't be wrong.
There's been a lot of talk about the profile of these players, right, and their age. Now Takehiro Tomiyasu is 22,
Fantastic
right?
age.
Ben White, 22, Sambi Lokonga, 21, Nuno Tavares, I think is 21 as well, Odegaard, 22, Ramsdale, 22 as well. They're all very young players, aren't they? I mean,
well, I think this is the
You think they should have maybe brought in a bit more experience as well?
Yeah, I'd love to see them buy some experience, Rob, but unfortunately, this is the path that they've decided to go down with this summer. Obviously, they're trying to lower the age and, more importantly, lower the wage bill. Remember that? These players
they ain't going to be on
they're not going to be mega bucks. And also, perhaps they also hoping that they really hit the jackpot with one of them. And unfortunately, they might sell him.
But they signed all of these players, Chris. And as you said right at the start of the show, you're not excited. All right, I know you're saying wait until what happens in May, what they do and all that, and that's a fair assessment. But don't you think maybe as well, and I know this can be slightly controversial because people say you shouldn't just buy a signing to, every signing should make sense, right? But where we are, the fact that we're really down in the doldrums at the moment, don't you think that one exciting signing that would have got everybody saying, yes, I can't wait to go to Norwich? I mean, you don't feel like that right now, do you? You're not saying to yourself, I can't wait to get to Norwich to see such and such.
No, but the thing is, Rob, the Norwich, I can't wait to get, I'm petrified of the Norwich game, being perfect.
Well, that's again why shouldn't we maybe one signing that just gets you like up out of your seat? You know what I mean? Like, you've seen United, they got Ronaldo, Lukaku. I'm not saying as big as those signings, right? But just that one signing, Hudson, why didn't we go in for him?
That's a fantastic question. The fact is, I don't think anyone went in for him in the end. And in the end, Leon were trying to even loan him out, which I found a bit. There's something not adding up there. But going back to your we've got all these young players, and this is now going to slightly put me on towards Arteta. He has got to improve these players. And what I'm seeing at the moment, I've got alarm bells ringing in my head because he doesn't seem to be improving anyone, Rob. And I've been getting a little bit vexed with these people like pundits saying, Arsenal are bad. They've started. It ain't 3 games we've been poor. Just look at the pre-season.
Yep.
The pre-season, we were poor in that.
Yep.
So that's the chicken that the priest and the egg is what we're seeing, and that alarms me. Why have they not improved? I've let them off the Brentford game because I think there were so many things going on, but the way they played against Chelsea and Man City scared the daylights out of me because they weren't set up right.
I was scared from the Brentford one as well. I haven't let them off of that. I thought that was an appalling performance as well.
You're telling just about so Arteta's got all these coaches around him. So you're telling me that he sat down, say before the Man City game, you'd have had all these coaches around him, and he said, "I'll tell you what, we're going to play this system, and I'm going to play Kolasinac at centre half." So you're telling me that all these coaches went, "Oh, that's a good idea, boss." So you know what I mean? It's frightening, isn't it?
It is, and I'm really. I mean, when I got to the game the other day and I saw the team sheet,
God.
and I saw Kolasinac on it, I was shocked. Again, he's still here. He's not gone. He's not gone this transfer window. Again, that baffles me.
Well, I think he wanted too much money of a Venabachi wanted him.
Yeah.
And they said, "See you later." So you know.
But what does that tell you? And then he's still here, but he's an integral part now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, then obviously that brings up the Saliba argument, doesn't it? So you're telling me that Saliba is not as good as Holding, Chambers, and Kolasinac. There's something wrong there, isn't there?
Yeah. Let me do a couple of comments because, as usual, loads of comments are coming in. Madassa says, same strikers and same midfielders. If you can't score goals, how one expects to win games. Benergy says, we spent lots and barely improved. Would you agree with that?
Well, you can't argue with that because we played 3, lost 3, and we're sitting at the bottom of the league. But I'm fingers crossed that as the months and games, we will see an improvement.
All right. Gabriel says, we kept Odegaard. Incomings are good, in my opinion, but outgoings and coaching is a shambles.
Can't argue with that. How can you only sell one player for a fee? And people, we did get 9 million for that Malam who left PSV. He went to
Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon. I think
went to Dortmund.
Yeah, but we've got some wages off the old. We got Ozil's wages, Williams' wages. So there's, but you know, he's poor, Rob.
Yep. There's another comment here from Stephen. He says we finished 8th twice, spent over £200 million. In that time, we should be pushing for 5th or 6th at best.
I totally agree with him.
I think he means at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's pressure on Arteta. There's big pressure.
Same Jay says we've bought several young lads who will grow together. A project, by definition, takes time. So I do fear for Arsenal. I do fear for the Arsenal fan who thinks we'll be successful quick. We've decided on the patient route. So we need to be patient. And another super chat here from Sedba. He says, trust the process.
Yeah, but it's right being...
You trust it?
No, it's right being patient. You've got to get results, Rob. You can't be patient and come October, November, we're sitting at the bottom of the league still. There's patience and there's stupidity.
Would you have sacked him already?
Without that. I've changed...
Well, you trust in the process. You don't trust it.
I've changed my opinion. It's really scared me what I've seen lately.
So you would have sacked him?
Yeah, I think he's under a lot of pressure, Rob. If he don't bear thinking, I'm dreading. I should be looking forward to that, the Emirates against. But the pressure on that Norwich game, can you imagine?
He can't lose that.
He could. No, in case he can't.
No, he could lose it. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying he can't. He can't afford to lose it.
The thing is, say we beat Norwich, we'll all be happy, we'll be relieved. Burnley next, they haven't won a home game since January the 27th. And who's rolling up? Good old Arsenal. You know, then it's the North London derby, then it's Brighton. And I'll tell you what.
And our record at Brighton ain't been great either.
So, and I'll tell you what was interesting. Vin I, the chief exec, I thought what he said today, it's not the dreaded vote of confidence, but it's an underhand dreaded vote of confidence when he says the next 4 games are very important. So he's telling them there, isn't he? You have got to get results.
I think it's important for him too. Because to me, I was looking at this today and I was like, if Arteta falls, he falls too, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they all do.
Because they're the ones who brought him in. Listen, it was a massive gamble. Let's be real right now. getting Mikel Arteta in from the beginning, I'm not sure if you found a fan at that time that were like, yeah, let's get Arteta. It was like, it was out of the blue. It's a really brave and bold decision to bring in a manager who's never managed before. I don't care if he's number 2 under Pep. He's never managed before, right? So they made a big and bold decision. On top of that, they have given him over £200 million to spend. I don't think Wenger never had that.
Never.
Right? If this doesn't work, I don't think it's just Arteta who should be under threat. I think they should be under threat as well. There's been some appalling decisions that have been made as well in transfers. Willian being one of them. You know? The Xhaka thing's not looking like a great decision now either. They heralded it in the programme of the last home game that we've re-signed Granit Xhaka. We have to, you know what I mean? It was almost like this is one of the most important signings of this summer. And then he goes and does what he does on the weekend.
He gets a 3-match ban and leaves us in the mud. Disgraceful. But the thing is that if that does happen, and I really don't want it to happen, perhaps that'll be the catalyst for the Kroenkes to sell up. Seriously, because I think the whole club will be in meltdown, Rob. I mean, one of the worst things about this period in Arsenal's history, we've lost our credibility. You know, like people laugh at us now. I know it's all, but you know, like
or feel sorry for us.
Like,
that's even worse.
Yeah, I hate it. I know fans of other clubs. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's what you know.
Come
out of City the other day, and this City fan come up to me, and he goes, Rob. He goes, never mind, Rob. He goes, we've been there, mate. He goes, when we got relegated, we was down in Division 3. He goes, and times was tough. And I thought the man was like a film. I was like, yo, you know what I mean? I don't want no one feeling sorry for me, man. I don't want no one telling me about no Division 3. This is Arsenal Football Club that's never, ever been relegated in the history. And this is a club that should be near the top. And obviously, we know there's cycles when it comes to football teams. But what we're seeing at the moment, and then on top of that, when you wake up on a Sunday morning and you get all your Spurs mates, you know what I mean, telling you about mind the gap, and you can't even answer because there is a proper gap. They're top on with 9 points, no goals conceded. We're bottom with 0 points, 9 points, 9 goals conceded. I mean,
it's a terrible blemish in Arsenal's history. I mean, they should be all thoroughly ashamed of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. For me, they should all go if Arteta falls.
You know, like we used to be called the Arsenal. Now it's Arsenal in small letters.
Oh my God. Jake Rook says Stan Kroenke should buy Edu and Arteta on with stupid shirts as parting gifts. He says 2 absolute jokes. Shref says ask Chris where does he buy his hope from? And it's not sold at Arsenal shop. Bellerin should give style tips to the Arsenal squad members, but he couldn't even get a basic throw-in right. Fans are not wrong to question his work rate.
I can't argue with that. You know.
I mean, that time when he messed up the throw, I mean...
It was embarrassing.
He's embarrassing. I mean, I just look on it as well, Chris, and I look at the team, and there's players in there that have been here for a long time now. Granit Xhaka's been here a long time.
Chambers holding.
Lacazette. You know, they've been here ages. What have they done?
They've not improved. So then you got to ask some serious questions of the coaching, then, haven't you? Is it have they not been coached properly, or is it their characters? Do they think they've made it, and they can't be bothered to improve, or is it the whole DNA of Arsenal Football Club in the last 5 years?
Let me give you this, right, and this is the importance of a manager, of a good manager and a good coach, right? Everybody at the moment's raving over Chelsea. They won the Champions League, obviously.
So right.
2 right, yeah? When Thomas Tuchel came in, right? Now I want to take you back, and I want you to remember when Tuchel came in, not so long ago, right? Go up to a Chelsea fan at that time, before Tuchel's first game, and say to him, what do you think of Rudiger?
Exactly.
They'd all be like, get him out.
Yeah. Alonso.
Crap. Rubbish. Alonso.
Jorginho.
Yeah, Jorginho. Get him out.
And he's improved them.
The guy just won the FIFA Player of the Year.
Fantastic. You got superb.
These players, people were saying they're not good enough. If you probably went to a Chelsea fan, they'd be like, they're not good enough for Chelsea. Marcos Alonso is not good enough for Chelsea. Get him out. Look at him now.
It shows what a wonderful coach he is.
So why? Is what I'm looking at, and I'm worried with you as well, because I'm like, there's an elite manager sitting out there in Kante. We don't know whether we'd be able to get him or not. We don't know what sort of assurances he'd want, but he's available. We've done this before. Guardiola was available. We stuck with Arsene Wenger. Klopp was available. We stuck with Arsene Wenger. Right? When Unai Emery was on the way out, Allegri was sat there. We've gone with Arteta. We can't afford to make this mistake again. If we're going to make a move, we're going to make a switch.
They've got to get it 100% right.
Or the next minute, we don't move for that, and then we're back to your Eddie Howes and people like that.
And he's not only his coaching, I'm asking some serious questions of his man management.
Well, I was going to get to that. The whole thing with Ainsley, Maitland-Niles.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so I want to get your opinion on that. Was Ainsley Maitland-Niles completely out of order by going public with what he said? Or was that the fault of Mikel Arteta? Let me get up. I'm gonna find. I've got the quote here somewhere. I did it the other day. I think this is it. Right. This is what Maitland-Niles put on his Instagram. He says, "All I want to do is go where I'm wanted and where I'm gonna play." And he actually atted Arsenal in it. It was up. I don't know if it's still up on his page, but it was up on his page for ages. Apparently, they've kind of had a meeting now.
And he's going to get a chance.
He's going to get a chance. But what did you make of that whole situation? Terrible for Arsenal, wasn't it?
First of all, I owe him an apology, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. If you look back some of the shows you and I have done, I've come on it and slaughtered him.
Remember I told you that at that time, what I'd heard.
Because I actually think he's the best right back in the club.
So do I.
So I've got to ask some serious questions. Why has he not been playing right back? If he's watching this, I owe him an apology because I slaughtered him, didn't I?
Yeah, the sort of thing that we're always hearing about you only wants to play midfield. He didn't want to play right back. I had to go, his attitude, how wrong was I? So then when I see that really upset me. So you're telling me you got Ainsley Maitland wants to play right and you're playing Cedric ahead of him? That's wrong. It's vindictive. Isn't it? It's wrong. Yep.
And then, that makes me question, Guendouzi, he's a troublemaker. Get rid of him. Saliba, not good enough. I've seen him. You know what I mean? I'm questioning everything. So that's sort of my answer to that. And they better not be messing about. If he's going to get a chance, I want to see him get a chance.
Yeah.
Don't mess him about, and then come January, he's going out the door, going out and playing.
Because remember, you check out his source of his frustration. Is that he could have left last summer to Wolves, £20 million. He would have been playing at Wolves. And we said no. Then we sent him out on loan to West Brom. Now he's come back, he's hardly played. Even pre-season, he was hardly playing. I was thinking they're going to sell him because he's hardly playing. But again, just not a good look, is it?
No, it's not a good look. And then suddenly they will have a meeting and they're all pals again. Well, I don't believe that. I want to see him serious. That's one thing I'm going to be really looking at in the next couple of weeks. I want to see him involved.
Yep, well, we'll see.
And I owe him. Sorry, Ainsley, if you're watching.
I'm sure he'll accept your apology. Christopher says, without Partey, we won't have a chance. Last year, we won against Man United away with Partey and El Neni. Imagine him and Lokonga. I want to see Partey and Lokonga.
Fantastic. Let's hope he's fit.
Yeah. Why didn't he play it the other day, Lokonga?
I can't answer that, Rob. And I'll tell you something else, going back to the Norwich game. Remember we got this international break? So I think they return on the Thursday. So you're telling me he's gonna have to get this team gelled in 2 training sessions and ready to go on the Saturday against Norwich. That'd be interesting as well.
Well, that's his job. True Blue Hill 16 rep says Arsenal have 7 games to get their season going. Out of a possible 21, if Arsenal can get 12 points out of a possible 21 points out of 7 games, he said if they don't get that, the manager's got to go.
No, I'm not giving him
7 games.
No, it's too late.
To me,
he's getting the 4 league games that the chief exec is sent out today in his message to the staff, and the League Cup game against Wimbledon.
I'd give him till the end of September.
But then if he loses to Norwich...
To me, if he loses to Norwich, that's it for me.
I think you could be right.
And I hate saying that. I hate talking about sacking managers. And I really want Mikel Arteta to succeed.
Well,
I think it'd be great to see a young, fresh, new manager come and really be successful with his own ideas and that.
Let's get it right. I don't want to be sitting here. Though I'm questioning the man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we'd all be over the moon if he turns it around.
We would be. But to me, if he loses against Norwich, the first 4 games of the season, 4 defeats.
He can't have it.
See you later. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't say no more. To me, I'd almost be of the thing that he should walk. To me, come on, you can't be at a club like Arsenal.
Well, you can't be at a club full stop.
You can't be it's true, you can't be at any club full stop.
You can't be at Chesterfield, Enfield, Chesham, Billericay FC, Bathgate, Thistle with a Scottish amateur. You can't lose. It's true. You can't.
Your first 4 games, see you later.
Arrivederci, mate. You can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. Gunner Station says, I like all of our signings this summer. I think they all have potential. Yeah, but it's the outgoings that bother me. Don't think we should have sold Willock and kept a lot of the players that we've kept. I think Willock was the only player that didn't get any money for.
But the thing is, I think I sort of made an excuse in the last couple of weeks ago when I said, well, I think the pandemic, but then I look at other clubs are getting money. Everyone else is getting money for their players.
Dan James, I mean, 25 million quid.
I mean, but then I heard that I think Nketiah fell down because he wanted too much money.
I heard his personal terms. I heard that Arsenal agreed it with Palace.
So what's he on?
Well, that's it. Again, some of these. I heard he's on about 40, 50 grand a week. That's the part of the problem as well at Arsenal, that some of these guys are on way too much money for what they've done.
The thing is with Eddie, I thought, in those going back to the pre-season, he did look quite sharp, didn't he? Actually,
you're right. To be fair to Eddie, in pre-season, he looked the sharpest of all the strikers.
Perhaps, in a way, football gods might be doing us a favour. Perhaps he'll get his chance, and he might.
I'm thinking maybe play Eddie out wide.
Be a possibility. But the other player didn't get a move, and I'm thinking what Kevin Campbell's always said is Balogun. He hasn't gone out on loan, which I found strange.
Yeah, that's true.
So that, you know what I mean. So there's a big chance for these players. But I think he'll stick with the old Lacazette or Aubameyang.
Lacazette's still here as well.
He's going to run down his contract.
He'll go away for nothing. Hadley says, I blame Lampard for our predicament. Losing the FA Cup and then last December. If only we knew how things would pan out for the 2 teams. Champions League winners versus 8th.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've got to say, you can't not want to win an FA Cup. You know, remember where we all were. It was an empty stadium. We was right in the bang middle of the pandemic. And on a personal side of things, that really cheered me up, that cup final.
No, yeah, it was true. Adrian says, I was comforted by Spurs fans today.
Yeah, we've all been there, mate.
What has this club come to?
Yeah, I know.
You know, Fardin says, not all the blame is for Arteta, but he has to go. By the way, my wife was asking you guys to make shorter videos so that I'm not looking at my screen all day long. Laugh out loud. Big up Fardin and big up your wife. Shref says, KFC are bad at sports business. Ask the LA Rams. After Gnabry and RVP, none of the players sold are regular in the top first teams. We have average players who can't be sold.
Well, I don't. Perhaps it's they might be average. It might be their wages stolen them getting sold.
I'm not sure if all these players are average.
I don't think Guendouzi's average. He's just been called into the French squad.
Yeah. Well, he's not good enough for us.
You know what I mean? And by the way, I know it's a bit politically incorrect. Might have a go. People stick up for the owners, but you can't say they're not giving any money, Rob.
They can't. 150 million quid, 200 million in the last 2 windows.
People may not want to hear that.
No, it's facts.
But you know, it's true. You can't say they haven't backed
I don't think you can blame the owners this window.
No, in a million years.
Not this window.
But
we've spent the most money in world football. Arsenal. No other club in the world has spent more money than Arsenal in this transfer window. And let's get it right as well. They ain't had a lot of money in.
No.
It ain't like they spent 150 million, but they sold 100 million.
Like
so the net spend was only 50. They only got 25 million. Well, if maybe I think the Willian money meant that they could buy the guy yesterday as well. Right? So, but you can't, they've put the money there.
And also, I can't believe it's, whatever you might think of them, they haven't got to where they are today by being stupid. So a lot of think they're sitting in their ranch in America thinking, well, we've given him all this money, and let's play, your scenario of losing 6 games on the trot. There's no way he can stay, is there? Because you guys got to be sending alarm bells off, isn't it?
There's no way you can. The Norwich game for me has to win.
It's one of the biggest games in Arsenal's history. I'm telling you.
Go that far.
Well, I would. In their modern day history, if they was to lose that, the meltdown would be unbearable, Rob. I'm telling you.
Well, I won't be looking for you after that game.
No, you don't know.
Uvres says, I think in the CDM position is the only thing lacking. Maybe Ainsley can give us cover there. I know we didn't bid for flashy signings, but we got Pepe and Thomas, and we finished 8th. So I have hope, which that's a good point he makes. But again, that's one position that I look at, and I just say to myself, why? Basuma is at Brighton.
No,
we go to Brighton and get Ben White. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
We had Saliba.
But thank God Basuma's still there. Because, Jan, you know what I mean? If we're doing better, we could have a little go there in January.
And then, you want them to spend more money?
And then there's another scenario. You could get the Brighton manager as your boss.
Peter Bissett says, my advice to Arteta is to figure out his best 11 fast and stick to it.
Yeah,
he has no faith in an 11, and how should we? Yeah, I'm going to ask you, actually, whilst I'm doing the other these super chats, figure out your best 11, right? I'm going to ask you in a minute. Liberova says, out of the box idea, Wilshere on a 1 year, low wages, we need an extra body in midfield. Wilshere?
I'd have him in the club, possibly, but sort of in the under 23s as an overage player, sort of doing a bit of coaching. But I think he's trying to get a deal in Italy with Como.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
In Birmingham.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's one of the saddest things I've read lately. That interview he did on the Athletic.
Yeah, it was a shame. 100% says Arteta has bought some nice ingredients, but it's a shame he can't cook. Jack Clibb says you paid more than White than we did for Varane. He's a Man United fan.
It's the English tax.
Yeah. Keep hearing about that English tax. Don't have to pay it though, do you?
Really, we're not in the same ballpark as Man United.
Yeah. So. Ade says, I've written off the next 2 seasons. The next 2 seasons. No. Rebuilding will be long, hard and scary. Arteta may not be around when it starts paying off.
That's a good point. He may not be. He may... You know what I mean? You could say he has been brave. The club have been brave. But what hasn't helped is the results.
Yeah, you know what? I asked this very same question on that. We were doing like a deadline day stream yesterday, and I asked that very same question. I said, had we have won our first 3 games, would you have looked on these signings in the same negative way as what?
But I'm not looking upon the signings as a negative way. What's done my head in is the results, the performances, and the way we've been set up. And it's not good enough. The signings are totally different. It's the mind boggles on what planet he thought we could go to Man City with that 11 and get a result.
Wesley Davis says, honest thoughts on Lacazette and Aubameyang. If we are giving Arteta 4 more games to save his job, what should the 2 of them get before they get benched?
Well, they got to start producing goals, Rob.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line there, mate. And I want to see Aubameyang get involved a little bit more.
I actually felt sorry for him at the game.
Well, he had no service. I
was at the game when the first. I think Julian said it in his interview. He's there actually. Big up Julian. He's behind the camera there. He said first 7 minutes we started off, and that's true. We started off. The game started off, and I was like, aye.
Yeah, yeah,
Not bad. Not bad, man. Odegaard was getting a bit of joy.
Yeah.
So as Aubameyang was looking lively. Saka was looking lively. I was thinking, all right.
Bang.
Sat up a bit. Said.
But do you know what?
Then next minute, bang, 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 bang.
Do you know what that shows? How fragile their confidence is. As soon as that first goal went in, they were like chocolate teapots.
Yeah.
They melted.
Yep. And then another player decides I'll have an early bath. Sending off for you?
Height of stupidity. It was a sending off, and by the letter of the law. But being fair to Xhaka, I saw a few other tackles.
Yeah,
subsequent. And the one that Burnley was, their forward did on the Leeds fullback, and he crippled him. You only got to get a card.
Mahesh says, I think Arteta doesn't have the balls to drop senior players, as they are just 5 to 8 years younger than him. I think the senior players are not scared of performing bad. He really drops senior players.
Well, I don't
do you think he's got the authority over these senior players? Do you reckon?
That's a very good question.
Do you reckon in the change rooms they're like saying, you know what?
Yeah, where's these medals?
Well, not even where's his medals. They might be saying, you know what? He don't know what he's doing, man.
Possibly.
Do you get that impression?
Yeah, and then once that happens, you're on a bit of a rocky road. But then on the other end, these players, who do they respect? Because let's face it, Emery come in, they got rid of him and in Wenger's. I mean, you can't. How can you not respect Wenger? They didn't do him any favours either. So you know what I mean? Let's look at that both ways.
Yeah. Right. Come on. Your best starting 11. If everybody's fit, with all our new signings.
Right. Here we go.
And you can include on I know your pronunciation of it. Yeah.
Good.
Takahiro. Come on.
Right. I'm starting off with Ramsdale in goal.
Ramsdale.
Yeah. I've made my mind up there.
Why?
I think Leno
didn't do nothing wrong in that game, did he?
I don't think his mind's on it, Rob. I think if Arsenal had got a good enough offer, they might have sold Leno. And I'm not too sure he wants to stay. So I'm going Ramsdale. I'll jack my knees, friend.
Takahiro Tomiyasu.
Yeah, him. Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, on the left.
Gabriel.
Yep.
If fit. And Ben White.
Okay, so that's your back four.
Right there. Midfield. Partey, Lokonga.
No Xhaka.
No, we suspended.
No, but if he wasn't
even if he's fit, that's it. Smith Rowe.
Where is he, on the left? Or?
Left.
Yep.
Saka on the right.
Yep.
Odegaard is a little nice floating number 10.
Yep.
And all depending who we're playing, Aubameyang and Lacazette. All depends who we're playing.
So I guess if it was Burnley, you'd have Lacazette.
Yeah.
If it was Norwich, you go Aubameyang.
Yeah, basically.
No Pepe.
No. Sorry.
Who else he missed?
No Martinelli.
No Martinelli.
He's this. I mean, I've been unfair on him. He's just come back from the Olympics.
Do you know what the thing is about that? That team you've just named out there.
It's a good team.
It's a good team, isn't it? And then on the bench, you've still got Pepe,
Martinelli, Chambers, Holding, Xhaka.
You've still got either one of Aubameyang or Lacazette on that bench as well. You've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles on that bench.
Well, I say I've let him down again.
You let him down.
I've done it to him again. He's going to want to do me when he sees me. But the thing, I'll tell you what, Ainsley, is horses for courses, mate. All depends who we're playing. You know what I mean? We got to be.
You've replaced him straight away with the Japanese fella.
And on the subject of Martinelli, you know we're talking about players not improving under Arteta.
That's one.
I look at Greenwood at Man United and I look at Martinelli.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a fair assessment. One's improving.
One's like he's blossoming. He's seen a muscle he's got on him as well. But then Martinelli's had loads more injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah. And Martinelli, to be fair, he has just come back.
Yeah, from the
Olympics. But then he weren't playing Martinelli last year when
no, he wasn't.
He could have played him. And again, these are the things that annoys me about him.
See, the thing is, I'm saying we play Aubameyang, Lacazette, horses for courses. But in a real world, if their attitude and they don't start doing it, then I'll start throwing Martinelli in. But he's got to start stepping up to the plate.
Martinelli, you got Andy Nketiah. There's no reason why that squad should be where it is. It's as simple as that. Cameron Grant says he'd go with a 3-5-2. Goalkeeper Leno, centre backs Tierney, Gabriel, and White. Left mid Saka, right mid Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu. Even I'm getting the pronunciation wrong now.
Japanese friend.
Right? Our Japanese friend, Tommy. Right? To go into a back four, and then when we break, he's getting all complicated, this guy. CAM, Odegaard, left striker, Aubameyang, right striker, Pepe.
I was listening to mine.
Nobody, sorry, just before you say that, nobody, so that's 2 teams named out so far. Right? No one's mentioned Kolasinac. What's going on? Manager, though, went for Kolasinac, you know? But anyway, yeah.
I'm going for Ramsdale anyway, because he's the future, Rob. And another thing, I don't know if you heard, obviously you was at the game, but Martin Keown, who was on Koa, every 5 minutes was having little digs all the time at the way Arteta set his team up, the tactics are confusing. And then I've also noticed, you know what a lot of call pro-Arsenal journals who write, when they write about Arsenal, they're not, I listen to what they got to say. Amy Lawrence or Henry Winter. In the past, when Arsenal have had a manager, they've sort of tried to stick up for him, but I've been very shocked. You know what I mean? They've been quite, what's the word? Scathing. When Henry Winter and Amy Lawrence are asking questions, I sort of think to myself, you know.
Yep. Adam says, AFTV, stop talking about how disappointing you are. If that was the Wenger, the stadium would be in flames. Start protesting and getting this man out. Now, Arsene Wenger's time was up. Arsene Wenger was, we say it time and time again, he was a great manager, but his time...
Well, a lot of those players were Wenger players. They played at the weekend, Bamiyang, you know what I mean?
The thing is, that's the one from the weekend that really, even now, when I think about it, as I said, if I walked down the road at the stadium and I asked 11 people,
no one would pick.
Give me your team. Nobody would have had Kolasinac in it.
And going back to me earlier,
no one. How was that guy starting in that? He wasn't the worst player on the day. Don't get me wrong. No. But
the thing is, Rob, that's going back to what I said earlier. That not only did Arteta pick him, but his backroom staff must have as well. So you're telling me that not one coach at Arsenal said, "Come on, Mikel, I don't think that's a good idea." And so then, remember what was Wenger's big criticism, Rob? He wouldn't listen to anyone. You know, with Steve Bold, people used to have a go at him. They don't listen. He just put the cones out, Steve. You know what I mean? So if I was Arteta, I wouldn't be like that. I'd start listening to people. Because if he don't start listening, he's out of a job.
I mean, I can't comprehend what would be the fight if I go there against that Norwich and I see Kolasinac trotting out to start. I mean,
also with Norwich, we should be writing them off. They're not cannon fodder.
No.
And I've noticed they've been buying a few players.
Yeah, they have been buying players, and they did score a goal. We ain't scored a goal yet. They have actually scored.
How embarrassing.
Airborne Aris says, imagine a back three of Saliba, White, and Gabriel.
And the thing is, now you can look at Saliba because you can watch the French football BT, and he looks a good player.
He looks a good player.
So how can we spend £27 million and he's only played one game against Milton Keynes?
It's ridiculous.
And people are saying Arsenal fans, of course you're going to be asking questions.
To me again as well. You can argue he's not been given a chance under Arteta.
No.
Because, he had a chance under other managers, but Mikel Arteta's not had a look at him, has he?
As I said,
he's gone now.
As I said,
he didn't have a look at him, did he?
Previously, this all started, it was Arsene Wenger's last season, that January transfer window. And since then, right till now, it's just been chaos.
Who's better for you, Torreira or El Neni?
But
It's so. This is what I'm saying. When you're in charge, you can make these decisions and say no. For me, my man's on.
I was
It better
shocked.
go right. It better go right.
I was shocked they loaned out young Aziz to Paul. I can know why they've loaned because the two blokes there, the Crowley brothers, had Smith Rowe at Huddersfield, and he is a good player, young Aziz, but he could have done the job there. But perhaps I should say that he's going to Portsmouth to get some experience.
Apurabra is saying that ignorance is why Arsenal become a joke.
What does he mean?
I'm not too quite sure he's about that. Afro-Saxon says,
I would say
who
ignorance.
is left?
I'll say arrogance.
Yeah, maybe he means arrogance. Afro-Saxon says, who is left with years of Wenger? What are we saying there? I think I can't really make out what he said, but he does go on at the end to say, why did we treat Wenger so bad? I'm seeing this narrative now. Arsene Wenger's time was up. We all knew that. You know, he was a great manager, but his time was up. There's a lot of people who are saying that we took so long to make that decision. That's affected where we are right now as well.
I think that's true.
Because we didn't have a proper succession period. We didn't plan for the next person that was going to take over properly.
But the thing with Wenger, one thing it has proven, and I remember looking at some of the old interviews you and I did outside the stadium. I remember I always said to you, we're all having a go at Wenger, but I've always said to you, the rest of the club hid behind his big zipped-up jacket, and it's proven. Whatever you think about him as a manager,
No, you're right there.
100% he held that club together. And since he's gone, it's gone
apart.
vroom.
It's fallen apart.
So then you might have to ask yourself, should they have kept him on an advisory role, put him upstairs?
Wouldn't have spent 150 million pounds, that's for sure.
You know what I mean? And then the fact that he won't come back to the Emirates, will he? Cause I find that a bit sad.
That is a bit sad. Yeah, that is sad.
Well,
Mahesh says this team has been failing with a 4-2-3-1. Anyway, we are defending bad. 4-3-3 for me. Aubameyang, Laka and Saka front three. Odegaard, Partey, Smith Rowe, mid defence. He said, I don't care.
But the thing is, the bottom line is you can come up with loads of selections, different systems, but the bottom line is you got to win a football match. 100%. That is your bottom. Actually, you don't get any more bottom line than that.
Yep.
It's Martin Keown said, perhaps he wants to stop confusing them every week with his tactics. Have a set team, get back to basics, and try and win a football match.
Yep. Vinit says Arsenal are all about playing football, looking ahead. Can you play with their back? Can they play? They cannot play with their back to goal. No one with the ability to head. No physicality still. Yeah. Still can be bullied big time, as Deeney had said. And that game against Burnley away.
Yeah, you're going to need someone who can hold the ball. That's going back. That's why I want.
We are going to, the bully boy tactics will be in full effect.
That's why I was very keen on buying Tammy Abraham, who, by the way, has started his career in Italy very well.
He has. Hey, you're all smug about that, ain't you?
I am. And I'll tell you what, there was a rumour about us going even that Jovic at Real Madrid. I think he would have done as a job as well. But we still need a player who we can aim for, hit the ball, and he can take the pressure off and bring other people into play, a la Giroud. We still haven't got that, have we?
Moas Verse says, why are people slandering Kolasinac? Let's support our players. Robbie, you give an example of how Chelsea fans write off some players, and with a good manager, they won the Champions League.
Good point.
Right? Good point. But I'm still looking at it and I'm saying to myself, Kolasinac, who wanted to leave the club, right? Kolasinac, who clearly... You know, the other thing about that is that if with the system that we were playing, why didn't he then put Tierney in that back three, which he's done before, and play Nuno Tavares as the new signing as that left wing back?
Yeah, who knows, Robbie, what he... I don't know what he did last Saturday. And talking about Tierney, he's worrying me as well.
Yep, he had a poor performance. Yeah. I mean, that guy does
make
a good point. He's been
dragged down with the rubbish around him.
Yep. You know, Pirlo says it took Arsene Wenger We took Arsene Wenger for granted, and certain people's pride on AFTV won't admit it. The grass isn't always greener, homie.
Look, basically, my answer to that is: do you want Arsene Wenger managing Arsenal when he's 95? Because that's what you're saying.
It's true. You got to change it. Yeah, you got to.
And tell you what, look at Wenger now. Look how well and healthy he looks with his lovely job at FIFA.
Alv40 says, when you have time, check out Takehiro Tomiyasu breakdown by Latte Film. Really good stats, breakdown, and an insight from Italian knowledge experts.
Well, there are a lot of experts saying he's a very good player.
You've been watching some of the YouTube clips of him?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I know you. I know you. You've been doing your little...
No, I certainly haven't, Rob.
Lobijeski 95 says, I'd like to see Golovin as our new CM, the best Russian player at the World Cup 2018. He would be the new Arshavin, he says.
He's at AS Monaco. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, I think he's at Monaco, yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Gunnar Gareth says, side swig note, if Arsenal played with as much aggression as Sweg and notorious BIG rapped, we'd be blessed in the top of the league. There was a real lack of aggression in that game from Arsenal. That was another thing. Darren Thomas says, Gazidis screwed us. Bailed when he couldn't hide behind Wenger anymore. He was supposed to oversee the transition to the next manager.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. He did. He just walks out, didn't he?
Yep. Super Relaxed says, Robbie also should have gone for Dusan Vlahovic from Serie A. 21 goals last season in the league. Would have been a great replacement for Laka in the near future. But they wanted about £60 million for him.
The thing is,
we did spend 150 million.
Yeah, but the thing is, we had to sell a forward to get one in. That was what they were
I think
saying.
as well, with a player like that, there's no Champions League football. And he's got loads of teams queuing up, probably not this window, but in the next window to buy him, who will have Champions League. So, and that's where every top player wants to play. They want to play in the Champions League, unless you're Harry Kane. A.L. James says, I have a feeling Arsenal would give Saliba a chance next season. Typically, he will tear it up next year when Arsenal will be trying hard to sign him up again with a year left on his contract to 100%. I don't think he's going to come back. I think the only way we'll see Saliba come back is if there's a new manager.
Yeah, possibly.
And why would he want to come back?
I think, the bottom line is the Arsenal have got to get their credibility back, Rob. Because at the moment, it's on the floor.
The Gooner says, after watching us versus Man City and they scored their first goal, our players blatantly dropped tools.
Yeah, right.
Arteta has a huge job to get them back on his side.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But this stress, I want him to get. I want him to get back on. So I wanted to see Arsenal. We don't want to be sitting here talking about Arsenal getting beat every week, do we? But it's in his hands, Rob. You know what I mean? He's got to get a grip.
Let Bagons be Bagon says, Arsenal are in a mess, not just because of Arteta, but other failings under previous regimes. Spent many seasons in the Champions League, but didn't invest in the right players when we could have attracted them.
Can't argue with that. Another great point. Superb point.
And Rohit says, imagine a future where the kids have not seen a good Arsenal team.
Well, that's happening.
Why would they come to Arsenal? Why they would know Arsenal from stories rather than from reality, and that's what's happening at the moment, isn't it?
That is a wonderful point, and it's quite scary because I'm an old sod like me. But the thing is, I can relate to that because I go back many years. I remember when I first started supporting Arsenal, and at the time we'd lost to Swindon in the League Cup final.
I remember that.
We lost to Leeds, and my granddad at the time, he saw Arsenal in the 30s. So the only joy I got of being an Arsenal fan was going around listening to him talk about Ted Drake, Bastin and James. And at that time, everyone had Man United shirts on and things like that. So I can that is happening now.
Yeah.
And that is I'll tell you, that's a fantastic point.
Yeah. Cause like one of the guys who works with us, Harvey, he's never seen Arsenal win the league.
Yeah, I know. I'm blessed. I have, but I know it's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, he's never seen Arsenal win the league, and I remember when he said that, I was like, "No, you have."
Yeah.
He was like, "Robbie, I'm only 18." I was like,
"But that's like when
that's terrible, isn't it?"
I never saw Arsenal win anything to 1960 to 1970 when they won the Fairs Cup, and I remember, funny enough, Arsenal had gone 17 years without a trophy. That was where we are, and they beat Anderlecht, and there was grown men crying their eyes out around me. I'll never ever forget that. Yeah, but that's happening. It's happening again.
We're crying now.
But the thing is, we're moaning, but you think if you were a Newcastle fan,
yeah, that's true.
1953,
Yeah,
I don't
care about Newcastle.
Everton.
But you are right. Yeah, Everton.
Tottenham,
Yeah.
61, black and white. See, I've got to get that in.
Guna Gareth says, "Why do we suck so much? We need Wenger back." Joke, he says, "Bring back Biggie."
I'll tell you what. I know you think I'm totally mad, but I could see this ball doing that. I could see.
Bring back Arsene Wenger.
No, let me think. I'd say we reluctantly have to get rid of Mikel Arteta. We thank him for all his efforts, but he hasn't worked out. And knowing this ball, I think you know what they do. That's the sort of thing they go and do.
You could see that.
Yeah, but
what, like a caretaker role?
Yeah, till next summer when possibly you could go and get another manager. But I could see them doing that.
Would you have that?
I could see them, but not on his own. I could see them doing that with an Eddie Howe with him, or someone like that. I know it's a totally mad thing to say, but it's the sort of thing.
Would I could ask everybody out there. Would you have a bit of that? Like,
I'm just putting it out there.
Mikel Arteta, it would unfortunately it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Would you have Arsene Wenger in as a caretaker manager until the end of the season, until we got the real big name that we were after?
Because I think I can see the ball doing that. I really could.
Wow, I didn't even thought of that, but.
Yeah, I don't want to be sitting there. It's got the cat. It's got the cream. But you never know.
All right, we'll save that one. Same Jay says Arteta overthinks everything and micromanages. It's typical of any manager in any field. Sometimes you just need to let the players play and use their eyes, not stats, videos, tactics boards. Let them play.
That is a major criticism of him, isn't it? But
The
thing is, being fair to Arteta, when he first joined, that was one we was all rejoicing in that, because if you remember, what was one of the things that we moaned about Wenger and Emery?
Tactics.
Yeah, we was told we went into games blind. We weren't prepared, and suddenly this man turns up, who's learnt from Guardiola. So that's something I can't get my head around. How Arteta's gone
too
from
many. You can see the players got no freedom.
Yeah, when was Arteta gone from that, what we saw against Man City and Chelsea in the cup final, and that wonderful goal against Liverpool in the Charity Shield, to this?
Yeah.
What has he become? Does he think he's better than what he is? Who in the coaching staff? I keep going on about that. Is his number two challenging him? Or are they all yes men?
It looks like yes men to me. Morris says, Pirlo in London. What is the news? I just hope he's not in discussions with Arsenal. I don't trust the board. They might appoint Deeney. Just thinking he might help Arsenal develop some cojones, he says. And Big Josh says, Robbie, I'm 17, born in July 2004. Got into Arsenal when I was about 10 in the 2014-15 season. I used to think, why did we never win the league? Now look.
But the thing, what I was saying to him was, I was precisely in his situation in 1970. And it will come, seriously. I know Peter's hard to believe it, but it does go in cycles. It's not that Arsenal will come back, Rob, but it shows where the levels are. I remember I used to say to myself, if we win the Champions League, I'll give up. That's what I used to say. And I used to say that around about 2005, 6, 7. If I see a Champions League, Robbie, you know what? Say Larry, I've seen it all. Now I'm saying if I win the League Cup, I'll be out. No, I'm not joking.
That's says bring in Big Sam. He's a champion getting
stupid.
most teams out of the bottom 4.
No, don't be silly.
Black Caesar says if we can't get Kante mid-season, Wenger as a temporary manager will make sense. It will lift spirits, and maybe the senior players like Aubameyang may start performing again.
See what I mean?
You've got this little theory going in it. And Samir says Arteta is Arsenal's Fred.
Talking about managers, I'll tell you, I would try and get Mancini because I think you might have I really liked him when he was at Man City.
Yeah, but he's going to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, he was. I mean, can you imagine him walking in that dressing room? He'd punch a few people.
I think Conte would as well. Jay Tarek says, all you media lovies, you need to tell it how it is. You let the fans down. You should be ashamed of yourself, Arsenal. Right? And then he's put Chris Hudson, 2013. Then after that, he's written, what's changed?
Nothing. And that is a terrible indictment.
Yeah. I think I'm going to leave it on that. Actually, no, there's a couple more super chats are coming, so let me just do those. I know, I'd already done that one. No, I'm going to leave it on that. I like that. Nothing's really changed.
It's a fantastic. We have won 3 FA Cups, haven't we? We've had some glory, but going back to that interview, nothing has changed, really.
It's really sad.
It is sad.
Let's hope that we can come back. You know what the thing is about it? The worst thing about this is we're in an international break now. I actually think Mikel Arteta would have loved to have had the game this weekend.
Yeah, of course he would.
Because, he's got to get 2 weeks now, pure stick. I think, the thing about that game against Man City, I was saying, I don't think anyone's expecting us to win, but put a performance in. Yeah, if you're a Wolves fan at the weekend, when you saw them play Man United, they've lost their first 3 games, but they've seen performances.
Even like going back to what I said, the Brentford game, I think that COVID, should the game have been played, we should have had a penalty. Leno was fouled, and I don't know anyone would have lost to Brentford that night, so I think it was just written in the stars. Chelsea, set up wrong, but at least in the second half we showed a bit of spirit. But the way we played it, Man City, was just awful. It was just madness from the selection, Xhaka, everything, attitude,
everything that could have went wrong.
People laughing at us. I've had enough of it, Rob.
Yeah.
There's no pride, there's no pride in the place either. I do not like people laughing at Arsenal Football Club, which they are at the moment.
They are,
yeah. And that shame on everyone there at the moment. Yeah. A whole lot of them. There's
one more super chat. Let's do this one. Mikel says, hypothetically speaking, what do you think about Ek's takeover?
Well, we don't know, do we? Well, what we think, we don't know. I don't. There was a rumour that someone from the Emirates was going to buy us out.
Yeah, the Qataris.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be wonderful. But you can only at the moment. All I can deal with is Norwich at home.
Yeah.
And I know you laughed at it. I was like, it's a massive game.
Biggest game, yeah, but you said biggest game in our history.
No, it's one of the biggest because that could. You imagine if it all goes wrong, the meltdown, and then Arteta have to go. We have to try and find a Mertesacker be appointed caretaker. I can see that happening. We go to Burnley.
He's got all these predictions.
It's just in the media, be talk sport. They just love it, wouldn't they? Tottenham would keep winning. It'd be a nightmare.
Right, we're ending this. Because now it's starting to get me depressed, right? So we're ending this. But no, Chris, listen, thank you as usual for coming on. Back next week?
Yeah, if you want me back in? Yeah, because it'll be leading up to Norwich, won't it?
Leading up to Norwich, want to get your opinions again, so it'd be great to have you in.
All right, mate.
Thanks to everybody for watching the show. Sorry we were slightly late today, but thanks for joining us today. Don't forget you can subscribe here to AFTV. Really appreciate that, and like the video. There's no Transfer Daily tomorrow because the window is closed. We've spent nearly £150 million in the window. Let's hope going into our next set of games that these new signings are really going to pay off. Thanks for watching.